for this and it happens.
Uncle fucking House, who's supposed to be
Are the shoes of a champion. This jacket right here, shoes of a champion.
Hey,
No heats. Yeah! Yeah!
All right. First things first, it's podcast time, but I got to give a little introduction here because it's not any ordinary podcast. We do have Dev, who will be joining us. Maybe 5 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. We'll see. But we got a special guest. If you know this community, then you know who it is. He's been waiting for the Wyatt Six longer than anybody else. He is the man who we call the OG. It's Ennis. Welcome to the pod. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I mean, it's a big deal. You're the man that, honestly, I've been waiting to have in the pod since we started this.
Hey, I'm happy to be here, man. I couldn't wait. This is like the perfect time.
There's no better pod than this pod right here. I mean,
Let's go.
The Wyatt Six are officially here, and we will get to that. But we're gonna wait for Deb to show up before we get there. But we got a pretty good pod. I'm gonna be honest. If you got a snack or you got a drink, I'd grab that. I'd sit back because you're gonna be here for a little while. We got a pretty good podcast today. But here's the thing: when you're in a 3-man booth, things go a little longer because everyone's got an opinion. So that's just how it goes. But first things first. Before we get into the card, like match by match, your thoughts on Clash of the Castle overall as a show?
Overall, as a show for Clash, I thought it was okay. I did think that I knew there's some backstage like the Drew thing. I didn't really care for how the women's tag team belts were switched. I thought primarily though overall the crowd there was amazing. Anytime they go overseas or internationally, the crowd's amazing. So I thought that was pretty awesome. But it was okay because I looked at Clash as it like just a step between the next kind of chapter of what's to come. So it was cool. I really didn't like the women's. There were some misfires in the match. Everybody talked about it with Jay and slipping off the ropes and all that kind of stuff like that. But
the ropes were slippery in that match.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was humid, but
it was kind of funny. But what's funny is that I like those moments though. And people talk, oh, wrestling's fake and all this. When they have these moments when things don't go according, she slips on a rope and the move doesn't land. I think KO slipped on a rope one. I think
Damian almost broke his.
Damian broke his fucking ankle. It's like, but these moments to me, it's like, okay, I get it, but I didn't like how the belt switch hands. That probably, I was okay with Drew doing his thing. I was okay with that.
For a B-level pay-per-view, would you rate this? Take the crowd out of it, okay?
Yeah.
Match quality. Was this better or worse than Backlash and King and Queen of the Ring?
Worse.
Okay.
Yeah. It honestly seemed like filler matches. I mean, you had was it 6 on the card?
5.
5. See, that it just seems like okay. And
do
so
you
I
like that? Do you like that? Do you like 5 match pay-per-views?
I don't. Because so you know what it was? They do probably like preliminary matches that don't air on TV probably or something like that. And so it's like 5. No, that's just not.
No, I think honestly, and I know everybody's picky about this and that. I think 7's the perfect number. I've always thought that 7 was the perfect number. I always thought AEW would do 10 matches and then WWE would do 5, and I would go, damn it, just do 7. It's the middle.
Yep.
That's the perfect middle. I just think because what you can do is you're going to have 5 matches, I think should be title matches, and then you should have 2 matches that you have good enough stories or rivalries to where those can be met. Because here's the thing is that we know it's the same thing going into Backlash.
Mm-hmm.
We knew, and I don't think predictability is a bad thing a lot of the times with wrestling, because a lot of times what you think is predictable ends up being really good, like the Wyatt Six, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this was almost a predictable show that going into, it was like, you're going to have to rely on the wrestling to be that much good because we know Piper Niven isn't beating Bailey. So this better be a banger, and it wasn't. So I think that was a big problem. But we'll start with the first match on the show because I think, honestly, this was the second best match overall. I think the first match and the last match were the best two.
I agree.
And this is first match of the night. We had Cody, AJ, WWE title, I Quit match. This was everything that I wanted Backlash to be. I wanted, and what I mean by that is not just by the violence. I just mean like there was never a chance, not 1 second during the Backlash match. I thought AJ was gonna win. There was never. But once I saw Mama Rhodes, Bloodline Rules, Mama Rhodes. Sorry, every time that's just what I immediately think of. But when I saw her in the crowd, I was like, okay, maybe there is a situation where his mom is like, no, Cody quits. Like she says it for Cody. Cody doesn't say I quit, but she's like, no, he quits. Or you know what I mean? But just the fact that there was things during the match where I was like, AJ could win. Actually, in my head is what made it such a good match for me. And then I think we also saw a different Cody Rhodes. Everyone was saying this was like a heel Cody Rhodes, but I think this was just a more violent Cody Rhodes. This was the WrestleMania versus The Rock Cody Rhodes. This was the don't send me to that place because if I have to go there, I'll go there Cody Rhodes. But I thought the match was great.
So I think I agree. I thought it was a good match. I still never thought AJ was never going to win this at all.
Right, yeah.
Either match, I never thought AJ would win it because
also, she didn't need to slap him 3 times. One made your point. 3 is assault. I'm just going to say
that's just true. That's too far. Then when Mama Rose is there, I'm like, what the hell is Mama Rose on there? See, before the other story, Mama Rose, the whole family, it made sense.
Right.
I see Mama Rose there. I'm like, why is Mama Rose at Clash? Why is she at Clash?
Why is she in Scotland?
Why is she even there? Like, what significance does Mama Rose have to do
with Mama Rose?
Yeah, Mama Rose is tired. She don't got time for that. You know what I mean? And so, like, I saw her and I was like, okay, the match was a good match. However, I still never because it's like I'm anticipating the next story. Cody and AJ is like, this story's over. So like now we need to kind of transition AJ to the next story and get Cody ready for the next story. Cody's not losing this belt to AJ. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I like the evil AJ. I really enjoy it. I'm like, you're probably going to do something different. This isn't it. So I never thought he was going to win it. However, I did appreciate the match.
Okay, I'm a big finish guy. I am a big guy. Like, you can put on a 5-star match, but if the finish of the match is ass, the match is ass. Okay. Yeah. And I was very conflicted on the finish. All right, and I want to know what your thoughts were, because when Cody had the stairs, and AJ was like, I quit, right?
So weak.
And then he threw him at him anyway, and I was like, that does not seem like some shit he would have quit over. Like, that seems like something he could have ate and the match would have continued. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
I was like, did he just quit? Like,
right it was a little anticlimactic. Like, whoa, what? Really?
Yeah.
Because I've seen I quit matches. Like, I always tell them, the first match I ever saw live in person was when John Cena threw Batista off a fucking car through the floor. That's a reason to quit. I don't want to. The next day, he rolled out in a wheelchair, right? Yeah. When Bray Wyatt was fighting John Cena, and John Cena, stacked a bunch of shit all over him, and Bray quit. Or what was the last match? When Edge quit because Beth Phoenix got grass beat by Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley. Those are reasons to quit. Yeah. I didn't feel like the steel steps because after he did it, AJ got his hands up anyway.
It was the week. Yeah. It was so weak, man. I literally thought to myself, did he just quit, really? Like, because I thought it was weak. And I was like,
I'm glad you agree. I didn't know
if I was get the shit beat out of you. You're bleeding or you're what? That makes sense. You know what I mean? Or like Mama Rose is about to get her head smashed with some steps. I quit. I get it. That's a little bit more. I was like, AJ just quit. I'm like,
AJ being able to protect himself is what I think ruined it. I think if AJ was in a spot where he was lying with handcuffed, Armbind could not protect himself, and then you have the stairs to the head. Okay, I quit. I can't protect. But because he had his arms up, I quit. It's like, wait,
Come on.
you know what? That I think that was what, you know what I mean? You needed to be unprotected.
Yeah, come on. I just thought, I was like
Beth in the concerto.
Exactly. I literally thought to myself when he said I quit, like, did he really just did the match just end? Did he quit?
So, I have another question here is he quit. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know the relationship TNA has with WWE.
Yes, sir.
He can very easily make this a storyline of quitting the WWE to go to TNA.
Absolutely.
And he's still having a contract with WWE, right?
Absolutely.
I'm all for this. I think that's a great idea because I don't think there's really anything for AJ right now in WWE.
No.
And I think that he can not only put on banger matches, but elevate people that there are a lot of people in TNA that the mainstream WWE people don't know who they are, but you have a few with AJ Styles, they'll know who you are after that. You know what I mean?
First of all, Dylan, we could talk about this all day and all night. Honestly, because that's a whole nother conversation to me.
Right.
I read a report about AJ and this whole kind of crossover, the relationship with TNA and WWE, and that relationship kind of mimicking a little bit of what AEW and other companies are doing as far as establishing those strong ties. I see that part of the future. So it makes sense for WWE to solidify that relationship and have some of that crossover magic happening. I think it could kind of breathe some life into wanting to see AJ, but also seeing other up-and-coming stars as well. I think it's a great move because other than that, it's like it was boring. And I hate when we get to certain points in stories that the people, it's just boring. It's like,
yeah,
I would have puked had I saw Becky Lynch winning. It's boring. It's boring. Like, it's not exciting at all. It's like, this is too predictable and it's boring. You know what I mean? So the stories, that the Bloodline story is what made it so intriguing, pulls you in every week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Wyatt 6, it's a story that the Bray Wyatt, it pulls you in. So
100%.
yeah, I'm happy for it because I think it's a creative move. Let's see how it works out, but I think it's a great move to try to do something different because she gets boring, man.
Yeah, and I do also want to just remind everybody the last time that Gallows and Anderson were relevant was in TNA. So the whole thing makes sense. So
yep. And look what they're doing right now.
The pieces are there if they want to use them. They can do whatever they want, but do it. Next, I know that you are not a big fan of this. You see him, he's ready to cook. All right, I'll just let you go.
Don't even introduce it, Dylan. I got it. Look, so I think that the match. I hate the match itself. Everybody fucking knows that there's no way that they're beating Bianca and Jay. There's no way possible. It's not happening. However, I think that Jay needs some. We all know she needs some in-ring work, and she, but losing titles to these girls.
Those ropes were slippery, man.
Come on, that's slipping off the rope. She looks silly, but again, stuff like that happens. But I think that the match itself, again, I'm looking at the story of it all, how building the story. That's what makes you go back to it. And they change women's belts, the tag team belts, so frequently. It's like every time, it's like this team doesn't deserve it. Like it's not the tag team division. I still feel like in the men's and women, they're still struggling trying to make it relevant how it was back in like the 80s, 90s. You know what I'm saying? And so this match itself, I know that they're setting it up. We all know that you're trying to build eventually a feud between Bianca and Jade. We all see this as coming. It's like, but I think they had some more run in them before this happened. It would have definitely helped. They get the little signature moves they're doing. But there's no damn way they lose this match. And I don't even care because they're in Scotland. I don't even care. Like they should have destroyed them. And they should have built up like a women's tag team that, would honestly, legitimately pose a threat to them. You know what I mean? Like, there's no right. It just is like, are we serious? And I think everybody walked away like, did they really just lose? And the way they lost, that's a so I knew something was going on when Shayna is choking out Jay and Jay taps.
Yeah, she fucking tapped.
And she's tapping for a minute. So you know what I mean? So she's tapping out. And it's like, okay, I thought that was going to be the play that, hey, Jay and Bianca win. and then Shayna and they say, hey, wait a second, Jade tapped, and that would become that kind of story. But it's like that didn't happen, and it's like the way it ended, the switching of the belts, I'm not a fan of. I think they need to put some respect on those tag team titles, on those belts, because they switched them too fast, man. It's like you telling me this team right here beats Jade and Bianca? Like, there's no way. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's Nia Jax and I don't know, Tamina. Somebody comes. I don't know, but like,
Tamina.
it's like a formative force is needed. You know what I mean? Like some kind of formative force against them would be like, oh, that makes sense. How this fight is going. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. Like, this isn't. I would even been okay if somebody NXT comes up, or you know what I mean? It's just like the smallest two women damn near in WWE just took out Jade and Bianca. But then the way they did it, I was like, oh no.
Okay, I'm gonna let you have that because I think there are a lot of people who agree with what you're saying. I do want to play devil's advocate because I feel like this is kind of what I have to do. Now, one, I think similar to what I said last time, it's becoming a broken record. They weren't going to let Scotland go 0-3.
No.
They weren't going to let Scotland get screwed over the way they got screwed over in the ending, go 0-3, have everybody lose that's from Scotland, and then their fans just, that's some BS, right? Yeah. So I think they kind of were put in a spot with, we knew Bayley was going to win. We knew Drew was going to F over Priest. We just didn't know how. Or we knew Punk was going to F over Priest. We just didn't know how. So pretty much put them in a spot where they kind of had to put the titles on Fire and Dawn. Now, here's why I think that they're going to be able to get away with it. I hope, okay? I hope. Jade and Bianca are immediately going to be in this Money in the Bank ladder match. They're immediately going back into the singles title picture because I understand they tried to build up Piper Niven, and we'll get to that in a little bit, but people like her right now are not credible threats to the women's title, like how Nia Jax is when she ran through, beat Jade, beat Bianca, won Queen of the Ring, beat Lyra in the finals. You know what I mean? Like, there aren't a lot of people on that top caliber level, so I think that they immediately were like, shit, we don't have any women in the main event. Our top two women are on a tag team. How do we put them immediately back in the main event? We have two women from Scotland. They'll come win the titles. And the second point that I wanted to make, the second thing is Fire and Dawn have already said that they're going to defend these titles on SmackDown, on Raw, and honestly, they'll probably defend them on NXT. They're going to be the workhorse type of champions where they'll probably be fighting everywhere, which I think will be good for the titles because what the titles basically did is I think Jade and Bianca elevated the tag team championships, okay? They did. 3 straight pay-per-views of women's tag team matches for the titles. It's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? That's kind of wild because we had a stretch of maybe a year with none on pay-per-view. And we just had 3 or 4 straight. From Elimination Chamber, we had them. We had it at WrestleMania. We had it at Backlash. Did we have it at... Yeah, we had the kickoff. The rank. So 5 straight pay-per-views of the women's tag team titles. So Jade and Bianca did that. So now Isla and Io are going to have to now make Isla and Dawn are going to have to make this the workhorse type championship, defending it everywhere. So I think this can be a good thing both ways. But I get it.
So I think that you on something. It made me think of it. So I think you're right about the top 2 stars being a tag team and needing them.
Yes.
But it also sets up the possibility of them feuding because now Money in the Bank, now they can fight each other. And so that's a big draw. So that does make sense. I agree. That makes a lot of sense, but
I think that was their thinking is they were like, now they could have put them in the, sorry to cut you off, but they could have put them in Money in the Bank as the women's tag team champions, but that gives us less credibility of, they're not going to win because they're already the tag team.
It was like, what was it that they Queen of the Ring? They both are in Queen of the Ring.
Yes.
And we knew they were going to both lose.
Correct.
But I think it's like almost like they learned from that. And so you're right. I think you're right. Like you have the top 2 together. We need them separate. Put them Money in the Bank. That makes sense. It does. The only thing I think about the tag team division is women's tag team division. I miss the days of the 80s and 90s. Like, I'm old school with it. Like Killer Bees, like these Demolition, these kind of formidable tag teams that were tag teams. You know what I mean? And they had good runs. You know what I mean? Together. And I think that's the part about the women's tag team. But I mean, honestly, the whole tag team division, men and women, like needing that kind of thing now. It's like most of the tag team belts, I think all of them, I mean, you can switch hands with them and you'd be fine with it. But there's no, you don't look at them like, oh, they're going to be together for a minute. They're going to run this. They're going to have former tag team opponents. It seems like, honestly, it's more glory in singles competition than tag team. So you kind of want to be, you know what I mean? And everybody almost has had a push that they wanted to push singles. It's like, even the Street Profits, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, but the fans don't want that. It's like, but I think that's just kind of where it is. But once they figure that out, shit, they're going to be cooking with something. They figure out the tag team division because, you know, to me, I'm like, man, I don't want to watch. They're going to beat the shit out of. I really want to watch them go against anybody. Like, it's boring. Like, who are these chicks? You know what I mean? Like, what are they doing? This is not even exciting, bro. Like, this is boring. Like, you know, and I'm okay because Drew gets screwed over a lot in Scotland, so I'm okay with it. Screw it, you know. But I did agree that they wouldn't go 0-3. Absolutely, I never thought that Piper was going to beat Bailey, but I guess like you said, if you had to pick 1 and 3 to go,
1 to sacrifice,
2 to sacrifice, I'll give it to them. It would be It only makes sense that way.
Okay, I think we came around there. Also, quick update from Devin. Devin says, I cooked myself, bro. I can't join in a car. Just not professional on my part. And I booked myself like shit today. We're like 15 from the crib. And if OG is in there, I'd let him ride it out. I apologize. I booked myself like shit today. So,
good. So I don't have to wait.
I was going to say, there's a 50-50 chance that he doesn't come. So,
let's do it.
Yeah, you know what we're going to do. But next thing, real quick. This one we'll talk about in a two-parter. Because I want to talk about the match, and then I want to talk about Raw, okay? So let's talk about Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, IC title, because I think what everybody was expecting to happen on Raw, or at Clash, happened on Raw. So during the match, more shenanigans during Alpha Academy, pretty much Alpha Academy overall costing Chad Gable the match. It was, once again, every time these two go, story aside, they're great. They're great professional wrestlers. These two cook. So then you add the story, and it was great. I think a lot of people had Chad Gable, me included, winning this match. Yeah. But they're creating the narrative of, no, he has become so narcissistic and now in his own way that it is costing him. Yeah. It's costing himself the one thing he was trying to get, all because of what he has now become. Yep. And we saw on Raw, Otis finally pushing him in the corner. They go into the locker room. He goes, hey, what's going on? Why'd you do that? Otis says, I'm done. Otis walks out of the locker room. Then he gets shot. I mean, it is literally the worst work day you can possibly have. And I think we need to take a moment to just RIP my boy. Every single day, every time I pray, I'll be missing. I mean, what a day. What a 24 hours. What a 48 hours.
Hey, what a day in the office for that guy. Like,
wow. I mean, where do we start?
Just fucking go home already. So I think the match, they always doing a good match. I thought the Chad was gonna win too. I thought Sammy's reign was over at Clash. I thought it was done. But because I'm like, okay, it's starting to get a little stale with the thing of Sammy pleading to Alpha Academy to wake up, and it's saying he kind of says it too. He says, I think on Raw, that like I went through the same thing with the bloodline, which he did, which is like, okay, we've seen this story before. But I was okay.
Roman didn't smack him 18 times in the face.
Bro, I love Chad as a heel. I love it. And he's more interesting to me as a heel. So the match, good match. I'm totally okay with the outcome.
Where do you think they're going with everything?
So, see, the thing is, I think like you got to be careful because if Chad's story, where it's going, it starts to look a little bit like Drew's story.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, don't mimic the same thing at the same time. Like I know it's like
he's lost 5 straight. Continental Championship.
Yeah. So it's like that's my concern. Is like, okay, I don't want to mimic the stories at the same time. I know we kind of do a rinse and repeat at times, but like, what can we do with Chad? Because it's like, okay, now you're setting this up for Chad and Otis.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I was mad. Chad had a little bit of momentum last year. I was for it, like push, like, Sammy's just kind of like cooling off a little bit. But I think here's the time where how do you spice up these stories for them? Not just against each other, but how do you spice this up? And that's why I asked myself that question. But I think that where they're going with this is, of course, I think Otis and Alpha Academy, and now I think the Creed brothers, because that was a look. That was a look on Chad's face. It was almost like, well, you know, when you guys are leaving, he says, "Fine," and it's almost I was waiting for him
He
to
said something. He said something like, I can't remember what he said, but he said something like, "Fine, I'll do it myself," or like.
See, and I thought he would say something like, "Hey, I'll find it myself," like Creed brothers. And to me, I'm like, Creed brothers here, it would align so perfectly. And I was like, they take down Alpha Academy because I'm like, that would be perfect. But I see that's where it's going because I'm ready for the Creed brothers to just join Sammy.
I mean, he lost in 6 minutes to Braun Strowman on Raw. No, I mean, I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, come on. But no, I think that's where they're going with it. Chad's heel run continues. I think maybe I don't know Sammy and Alpha Academy because he seems like he wants to align with them. He kind of says like he cares about them, something like that. I don't know how that connection is gonna happen. But Maxine, she needs to keep working though. I know she's banged up. But
Maxine and Otis,
yeah,
I think that's gonna be a thing that they're gonna ride out probably as long as they can. Like even if it's a situation of like a love thing or they're like you know what I mean, like whatever it may be. I think they want to keep Maxine and Otis together as long as possible. I asked Devin this question before, I think a couple weeks ago, and I'll ask you. What do we do with Tozawa? So when he said he did the same thing. He was like, shit, I didn't think about that. So does Tozawa just stay with him and dance? Does he disappear?
That's all.
He stays and dances?
Bro, I literally was wondering, out of all the cuts, how the fuck did Tozawa still make it on a roster? Somebody answer me that. Like, somebody tell me that. Like,
he started crying Monday. He started crying in the fucking ring. I was like, Tozawa.
Fucking cut that shit out. But yeah, bro, I was like, how does he still on a roster? Fucking like, you know what I mean? Like what? But
he's a treasure, bro. I think I think he knows that the fans view him like R-Truth, where he's so over.
That's true.
We love him so much. It doesn't matter what he does. We know he only wins one match a year, but when he wins that one match a year, we're all celebrating.
You know what it reminds me of? You remember like the Brooklyn Brawler?
Yes. It's like he's the Brooklyn Brawler. He's the Santino Marella. He's the guy where even though we know he's not going to win,
that's right. Yeah. Like he could be Dunk the Clown or some shit. It's
exactly.
It's a gimmick kind of thing, but I think he just stands around and dances. But I do see with the Otis and Chad, that's where they're building for him. Sammy though, because Sammy says like on Raw, Sammy says something like, "Okay, that was it for Chad." Like like I don't know.
You're damn right it is.
I don't know what his ass got popped. I don't know what
it really was the end for him.
But you know what's funny? I'm ready for them to like okay, Sammy needs to drop the IC belt because I'm like, okay, you have too much. It's too many guys in the wing waiting like for Sammy to. Braun, you got Braun, you got Big Bronson. So I'm like, bro,
what the hell happened to him?
Come on, bro, like what the hell, you know what I mean? But I can see where they're going with him. Sammy,
they'll make Bronson Reed a speed champion by next week. Watch.
I hate that shit.
I fucking hate it too.
Bro, you know what's funny? You didn't even see I saw that you didn't even see the belt. It's not like they come out to the ring in it. When Ricochet's the champ, he didn't even wear the fucking belt out. Like, man, let this go. What are we doing? Just make some more house shows or something, man. You know?
All right. Next thing, we have Bayley versus Piper Niven. I'm going to be short and sweet. I had one problem with this match. Very simple. And I think you're going to agree with me. Who was the star of this match? Was it Bayley? Was it Piper Niven? Or was it neither of them and it was Chelsea Green?
I'm going to go with the third option.
And that's my problem. Because once Chelsea Green got thrown out 5 minutes into the match, what the fuck? She's like the whole, like, I love her. My spicy margarita, my sweet pea, the way she says this shit, it's like, this bitch is like, Piper is like a giant fucking, and she's like, my sweet little pea, and it's like, no, she's not. She's a beast. You know what I mean? And that's what makes me laugh. But I think their dynamic is great. I love it. I love it too. They're great, right? So when she gets thrown out, I'm pissed. The crowd was like, we love Bailey because we're international, but we love Piper because we're Scottish. So they were kind of neutral. Didn't really know who to cheer. Didn't really know who to boo. And then the next big pop we got was when she came down Chelsea Green in a luchador mask again. And that was fucking great.
That was great.
I was like, dude, so the match was over. And I was like, I cared about Chelsea Green more than I cared about the two women fighting for the title. And I think that was my problem with the match.
No, I 100% agree. Chelsea made it. Like,
but is that a bad thing, or is that just Chelsea so good? She's so good. Like, her character work, I'm sorry, she's somebody that if she won Money in the Bank, I don't think people would be mad.
Nope.
Genuinely.
You know who she kind of reminds me of? Carmella.
Yes, she is what Carmella was when she debuted. Yes, when she won Money in the Bank.
Yep. That's what she reminds me of. Speaking of Carmella, it reminded me also, and this is totally not about Clash, but Sonya Deville. Like,
yeah.
What was that about? You know what I mean? Like,
it looks like what she's doing is she's taking older talent and managing them. Like, she's agenting. Like, she's taken Natalya, and then there was somebody else. But she approached Shayna Baszler.
Yeah,
she's approaching the older veteran women of hey, let me manage you type thing. So I think that remember, she tore ACL, right? So she probably still isn't cleared to wrestle, but they're bringing her back onto TV because she's about to be cleared. You know what I mean? So my whole thing is, remember, her and Chelsea Green won the tag team championships.
Yeah.
She tore her ACL, and now we have the pair of Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. So I'm very curious how that's going to go when Sonya runs back into them. Because Sonya is going to be like, whoa. Honestly, that trio, I'd be here for, because here's what you do. You have Sonya and Piper be the tag team, and you just have Chelsea be the mouthpiece. And I know Chelsea can go, but for some reason WWE wants to view her more as a comedy act.
She is hilarious. I think it would be a good go. I think I thought they were doing her like they did Dakota Kai. With injury.
Yeah. They're gonna have her be
even with Dom was hurt with the arm, he still was showing up and doing, you know what I mean, keeping kind of active, which I'm cool with. But
I think the reason why WWE has to do that right now is because there's so many fucking people.
So many people hurt. Oh man, it's crazy.
It's so bad that they're even the people are you hurt? Yes. They're now asking, how bad is it?
Yeah.
Can you come to TV? Yeah. Well, we're gonna keep you on a storyline because we are not gonna go that short on talent.
Yeah, I saw an old clip of Bobby Lashley getting power slammed by, it wasn't Undertaker, maybe it was Kane or something like that. And I was like, damn, Bobby Lashley been around that long? But it's and I'm like, damn, he's hurt now. So that's why he's on TV. Yeah, man, it's
Man's Bobby. I think Bobby's 44 or 45.
Damn.
He is old, Yeah,
man. Yeah, he up there. Which I didn't realize, but these guys still do that shit today, 60 years old.
Well, because Bobby, he's you know what I mean? He's full as shit. Bobby's fucking ripped, bro. Boy, yeah, I wouldn't fuck with Bobby. All right, final thing before. Look at this. I told you it's gonna be a long pod. We're gonna be 35 minutes to talk about Clash. Who gives a shit? Screwjob in Scotland. I'm gonna be real with you. I think that this is what I mean when I say predictability does not have to be bad in wrestling.
Yeah.
Because we all knew Punk is gonna fuck over Priest. We didn't know how. We didn't know when. They put on a 20-minute banger. I thought this was the best match of the night, wrestling-wise, best match of the night. Whether it was actually an injury or he just sold it the rest of the match, Damian Priest wrestled on one foot the whole match.
Yep.
Because 5 minutes into the match, he almost broke his ankle on the ropes. So
crazy.
You have a 20-minute banger with Damian Priest on one foot, and then obviously when the ref goes out, we have a 10 count up to 12. Punk comes out. Did you know it was Punk? Because I didn't know it was Punk until after he counted 1. When he went 1, as he counted 2, I stood up and went, "It's Punk!" Did you not know it was Punk?
You know what got me?
Yeah.
It was the camera angle. When he slid in, I was like, why didn't they pan the camera around? And so I'm watching, even in a replay, I'm watching a guy actually is across, like almost directly across from Punk, and he's like looking. This guy standing up, and I was like, and these guys are looking at him, but maybe it didn't hit them, and it's Punk. But I was like, they didn't move the camera angle around. And when it happened, I was like, what's going on? Then it's Punk, and I was like, oh, that's the reason why. It was like the angles of it. So it did. I knew Punk was gonna fuck him over. I knew
I thought it was great.
But it was good. But it was good. But it was like how they used the camera to hide his identity as well by not changing the angle of it. And I was like, okay, I see what y'all did.
That was smart because here's what they did: is they basically made it to where it's like, okay, he's gonna come out in like a hoodie, or he's gonna come out from under the ring. He's gonna pull his leg, right?
Yeah.
Nobody was ready for him to be the ref, and that was great. That was great because now I do think that he fucking shot himself in the foot a little bit because the whole story here is fuck CM Punk, and if you look at the videos online of people reactions, they're pissed. Like there are people that are like, oh, 1, 2, fuck yeah, CM Punk. Like there are people mad, but CM Punk, watching the 3 CM Punk fans in the crowd, celebrates with them. They're all like, yeah. And then everybody in the front row is like, yeah, Punk, like low key, like, yeah, give me some. Like I was like, damn, this man Punk ain't hated. They love him in Scotland. He goes to the press conference. He goes, hey, Punk, how do you feel about being the most hated man in Scotland? Punk's like, did you see them? I don't think I was very hated. Everybody seemed to love me out there that I was interacting. Like, damn, he's right. So I did think that they shot themselves in the foot a little bit with that. But the screw job in Scotland led everybody thinking Drew's going to kill somebody. It went off the air. He's going to kill somebody.
Drew's playing that shit, bro, like excellent, man.
But
Drew's looking legitimately like he's just pissed off. Like, so that takes you to Raw. Drew's playing it. I mean, he did excellent. It was excellent. Like, I mean, he's fucking working his angle. I love it. Yep. But it reminded me with Punk. And now when Drew gets there and quits, it's like, well, we've kind of seen the story a little bit before too. But Drew's believability behind this man, he's like, I'm just fucking tired of this shit. I'm out of here. And to me, he's playing that role up.
That was perfect.
Love it.
That was so many, and I feel like so many times can relate to people when you're at work and shit keeps going wrong over and over and over, and you're like, okay, this is my last thing I'm gonna do, and if somebody fucks this up, I swear to God, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done.
And then someone fucks it up, and you're just like, I'm done. Fuck you guys, I quit. And that was how it felt. Like he was
when Drew goes and deletes and he deactivates his social media, play it up, Drew. I love it. Because now it's like shit. He's really, but we know the real reason why. But to me, it adds to it. You know what I mean? Like that's the story. See, that's my thing. It's the story angles behind things. This builds the story. This is like, it's not just like, oh, it's fake for TV. No, this is like real life. Like he hates CM Punk. And like he really feels this way. When he comes back, he probably still hates CM Punk. But the story that they're building with having Drew do these things is I love it. I love it.
I think it's going great. So my question to you is, this Friday on SmackDown, Punk, it's in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
Punk is
perfect, by the way. Perfect.
Punk is gonna be there.
Yeah.
And his whole thing is to announce that he's now officially cleared. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's like his whole thing. What do you think that he's going to do? What do you think he's going to say? Because obviously he's going to touch on this.
Oh, yeah.
So do you think it's going to be a situation of him being like, because I think they can play it 2 ways, okay? I think they can play it one, where he's like, finally, Drew's out of here. F him. I don't need to worry about him. I'm cleared. I'm going to Money in the Bank. I'm going to win Money in the Bank. And then in the Money in the Bank match, Drew returns, fucks him over. Boom, we have our SummerSlam match. Okay? Mm-hmm. Option 1. Option 2 is he baits him or plays on this weeks on weeks of like, yeah, Drew would fight me, but he's too big of a you know what? And he throws personal jabs, and he like is making it to where Drew finally returns, and they set it up that way. Me personally, I kind of want option 1.
So what about one other option? So before Seth got hurt,
right?
Tension between CM and Seth. existed. What if that becomes another option as well? Somehow or another.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if we can do that because he's doing it with Drew, or Damian. I mean, Seth
The
and Drew, or
Seth is, yeah.
Damian.
Yeah.
They're locked in for Money in the Bank. Because
That's one thing I thought that'll be like the lowest of the options. You know, like, okay, when they both come back injured, it probably wouldn't be that great of a story. But
I think if Punk is cleared, I think he'll be on the Money in the Bank card. I really do. Whether it's just on the fucking Grayson Waller show,
yeah,
or it's in the Money in the Bank match, I really think he'll be on the show. And then that opens the door if you have Damian or Drew return, because I don't think Drew's going to be gone long.
So I think it all depends on his wife, like how she does. But maybe I do like the first option better. CM moves on and Drew comes back and screws him.
That's how it should be. I think it should be because here's the thing: we are now in a situation where there's been 2 times where he screwed him over, where it's almost like, if I'm Punk, why do I need to fight you? I've already fucked you over twice. I know I'm better than you. I made you quit. You know what I mean? Or it's almost like you need Drew to cost him a Money in the Bank or something where Punk's like, all right, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, he has to fuck with, like, do the fucking mental warfare on Punk.
100%.
Punk definitely has. I think that will add to the story of it all. Like, I think that would be cool to see Punk.
Yeah.
Now I think he got the best of Drew, and now Drew starts the fucking mental, psychological warfare with Punk. It cost him a match. I think that would be a cool way to kind of start the feud, kind of heat the feud right back up. Like, almost as if he never left. Like, perfect. Even if it's a month, well, not. I don't think it'd be too long, but maybe even if it's a month, a few weeks, get it right back going. That'd be perfect. Because you don't have, because if you work it now, creating another feud for Punk, it's gonna seem like you know. So that's probably why the Seth and Punk right now wouldn't work. Maybe it needs for, like, Seth to get that belt back, and then him and Punk kind of squash their beef or whatever. But
yeah, and I think honestly that's a perfect segue to the next thing that we have, which is Seth Rollins.
Oh man.
Did anybody have him opening up Monday Night Raw? Because I fucking didn't.
I fucking loved it, bro. Like, honestly, I know Seth's your guy. That's your guy. I know it. You know what I mean? It's like the pop. It was an excellent placement to have Seth open that show, considering what was going to happen the rest of the night. That was a perfect way. You set it off with that. Like, I mean,
dude, I'm not gonna lie. I lost my mind. I was like, what the fuck? Why is he here? Oh, what's going on? I got really excited because I had no idea why he was here. I expected him to be, and I think you probably did too. We weren't gonna see him until SummerSlam season. Like, and when I say that, I mean like maybe after SummerSlam. You know what I mean? Like, I thought he was gonna take him and Becky. We're gonna take some time, right? Yeah. It took a month, and
but you know the thing you said about people being hurt and like needing people to come back. I feel like that's that because I saw a video.
He just had meniscus and MCL surgery.
Yeah.
What, like, day after WrestleMania?
Yeah. So I saw a video of him earlier this week of him like starting getting back in the gym working out, and it just looks like he's rehabbing. And so when I saw him, I was like, "What is he doing?" But I'm like, "Well, he's not about. He's still the walk, the strut still didn't quite seem all the way there yet." So I'm like, "Oh, they're doing that thing. They need the pop from it." So it's like, "Hey, you can't wrestle, but just show up every couple of weeks and speak to me."
That's what I thought it was going to be. The last thing I thought, if we were going to get this, I did not think that we were going to have Damian Priest come out and basically say, look, your first title defense, you beat me. I know that I can beat you now. I want to prove that I'm the world champion. Let's fight at Money in the Bank. Seth said, all right, bet. And now we have a world title match in 3 weeks for the Money in the Bank. And I think that the story's there. Seth can show up every week on Raw without needing to wrestle to sell and build this, right? But I want to ask you a question. Does this worry you a little bit? Because it worries me a little bit. Why is Seth here? Is Seth here because we need to pull a Becky Lynch and Damian Priest is hurt, but instead of relinquishing the title, we're going to have Seth beat him so that Seth can go in and drop it to Gunther at SummerSlam? Like how Becky Lynch had to because Rhea was hurt?
Yep.
Or is Seth genuinely here just because another high caliber feud, for Damian for Money in the Bank? I don't know. But
I think it's option one, honestly.
Right.
Because
and that's
why do you need why Seth, the giddy up man and the strut is not what it was. You can tell he's not 100%. So to me, I feel like maybe Damian really is hurt, and this is a way to get going through that belt. That's what because Seth is. I mean, it takes some time, man. Like, I mean, I can totally see. Because I'm like, why Money in the Bank already? Seems kind of fast to me.
It does.
It was built as if Seth was going to hit he and Becky were both taking that time off. So to me, it's like
they wanted to go spend time with their children. Becky
Yeah.
took 3 weeks off, came back. Seth took 4 weeks off. Now he's back. They said they wanted to take like months off.
yeah.
They took 1 month.
I honestly think because they love the business. That's the reason why. It's almost like how The Rock kind of comes back and shows up a little bit. They love the business so much, they come back and they'll do whatever they can. But he definitely doesn't look ready. Like
No.
even when he had his coat, he does that little thing he does. He I was watching him as he walked, and I'm like, people love him, but it's like he just doesn't seem like it's all the way rehab. So I can see this been a good transition.
Or maybe WWE just wants to make it fair, and they're like, Damian Priest only has 1 leg, Seth only has 1 leg. Is 1 leg versus 1 leg? That's fair. And
each other. Yeah, go ahead.
I think that's what they said. Shit, they both got 1 leg, so it's fair. Put them up against each other.
Yeah. But no, I was happy to see him, but I do think it's just it's like the Becky. I think it's like a transition.
You notice he had you notice his Titantron, new Titantron, black and gold. It was very 2015 Seth. It wasn't all the colors and the burn it down. It was black and gold.
Right.
Old Seth Rollins were though. Yeah. So just something to look into a little bit. Yeah. Just something to look into. Real quick, I know this is becoming old news, but I didn't talk about it last week and I completely forgot. So we'll quickly just touch on this. Braun Breaker broke Ricochet, but I think it's actually good that we waited a week to talk about it because the fact that WWE is still when WWE talent is not re-signing, when they're leaving, WWE will not talk about them. They'll write them off, bon voyage, because they don't want any hype being introduced around them to the next company they're going into, whether it's TNA, AEW, whatever, right? The fact that WWE is still talking about Ricochet on the SmackDown after, and now on the Raw after, recapping the whole thing, bringing up the Ricochet thing, it's got people wondering, is there a chance that Ricochet is going to come back, maybe as like Prince Puma, who he was in Lucha Underground and in the Indies, or like as a repackaged, Ricochet? So I think it's actually good that we waited a week to talk about this because now I can ask you the question. What do you see happening? Do you think Ricochet is going to go to AEW or somewhere else? Or do you think that he's just going to get repackaged and he will return?
It's funny. I think it would be the build-up and the talk about him leaving so much. It's almost like they had to respond to it. So that's why they're talking about it so much. But like it's happened in the past where talent was leaving. They didn't talk about him as much. They talk about him a lot in the news reports, Twitter, articles. There's news everywhere about him leaving, how big that really was. And so to me, I think this would be a great opportunity to switch it up. He doesn't leave, and he gets repackaged. Not as Ricochet, Prince Puma. Like that to me, that would be.
I'm actually with that.
That would be awesome.
Do you want to know why? Because here's my thing. He's gonna go to AEW, do the same shit he did in WWE. He's gonna put on good matches, great matches, ain't gonna win any world titles, probably stay in the mid card. Dude. And he's just gonna be there to do insane moves, right?
And I know there's his girl's over in WWE too, so it's like, your girl's here, or your fiance, wife, whatever. It's like your girl's here, so it's like
I know you can do the both, but I feel like it's just so much easier because here's my thing.
Sure.
Ricochet is not gonna come back unless he knows that he's gonna be utilized. I feel like not as Ricochet, but as a Prince Puma or somebody like perfect example. Dexter Lumis, his ass would not be re-signed right now if he was not the White Six.
You're right.
You know what I mean? You need to repackage this man into something else because that's how you get him to return. And money talks.
I mean, he puts on good matches too. That's the part of what I felt like. That
he's great. It's just
Ricochet is one of the stars. Like, I felt this was when they released Bray. It was like Ricochet is one of those stars. Was like underutilized, or like he could main event some real shit. Like he does some amazing shit. And it's like to not use it or highlight that. I honestly feel like, total side note, I feel like the luchador, that type of star build, I think is underutilized. I think they do some explosive shit. And there are
Yeah.
other companies that when you watch them, you see these guys, these same caliber guys.
I will say this. I
doing
want
crazy
to
shit.
step in. AEW, I do think utilizes luchadors a lot better than WWE because right now, if you're a luchador, you're either A, gonna go to the mid card, or B, you're gonna go to a Latino faction. Sorry, it's one of the two,
Yeah.
and it kind of sucks. But I do think you look at AEW. They have Penta and Rey Fenix. They
Yeah.
have been they are multi-time world champions. Will Ospreay, you could pretty much call that motherfucker a luchador because the shit he does is the aerial assassin. I mean, he's a cruiser. So, you know what I mean? They do. I will give AEW and also TNA credit that I think WWE would probably be at the bottom of, how they use luchadors because WWE is built on people like Braun Breaker. They're built on people like that.
Well, so the Braun Breaker breaking Ricochet, Braun. I won't say I don't really care for how they're using Braun.
Really?
But I don't really fucking care for it. It's like
that's an interesting take
because we've seen this. Like, I mean, okay, rinse and repeat. We've seen this hothead. He's not the biggest guy, but he's not the smallest guy either. But just spearing people out of fucking nowhere into the fucking.
Okay, that spear on Ludwig Kaiser though was fucking great.
That was fucking great. Like you guys,
they both ran around.
That was fucking great.
That was great.
But again, it goes to how they're going to use him in the story they're going to use him with. Like, how is that going to work out? Okay, so
they're throwing him in the IC title. It looks like.
Yeah, so you give him the title, and then what? Like like that to me. So he will
have. I hate to keep cutting you off, but he will have a Gunther-like run with that title. He will not maybe as long, but that motherfucker is gonna hold it for a while.
Oh man,
that's the problem.
It's. I mean, he does this. I mean, I watched his dad and his uncle wrestle. You know what I mean? So I watched him. So I was looking at it. Styles
Michigan boys.
Yeah, Michigan boys. You know what I mean? And so I see that in him, absolutely. But I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do with him? Again, the story. So a good like fucking battle. Like, is it Sheamus? First of all, Sheamus is chopping the fuck out of this guy's chest. I don't fucking. I mean, I don't know. These guys can kill, but is it Sheamus? Who does he have a feud with that's like, oh, this is a good feud for him? You know what I mean? Like right now, I'm like, Braun.
Run that fatal 4-way at Money in the Bank, and Braun doesn't need to win that match. Okay?
Yeah.
Braun, Ludwig, Sammy, Sheamus. Take my fucking money, bro. Take my money. That bangs. And here's the thing. There's a high chance Sammy retains. But you know what? Braun ain't getting pinned. Ludwig probably ain't getting pinned. It's probably gonna be Sheamus. It's tough, but it is what it is. Or
hey, Sheamus is an old guy. Put some guys over Sheamus. Come on.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And here's the thing. If Ludwig is like, fuck it, I want to go to the Money in the Bank, give me the triple threat. I'll take that too.
I'll take that too. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think you can do that. Okay. I've teased you enough. Let's get to it. We're here to talk about what we all want to talk about. The motherfucking Wyatt 6. The way that Raw closed. Ennis, I know you have been, for those of you who do not know, Ennis is Bray Wyatt, number one guy, number one fan, been waiting for the Wyatt 6, along with the rest of us, but more eagerly, as he should. But I'm just going to let him walk you through what happened at the end of Monday night and everything that transpired.
So it's the same kind of build that Bray gave you. Why Bray was my favorite star. It's the story. It's the story that they lead into, that he builds in these bizarre characters. And so Monday night is happening. Seth pops off, kicks the whole thing off. Everybody's talking about it all week long. We know they're going to be here. All of the fucking QR codes say Wyatt 6 is going to be here. We're all anticipating and waiting. And so as I'm watching, I know they're coming out, but it's just like I don't want to miss a moment because what are they going to do to lead up to this thing? So I'm like, you know what? It's getting late in the night. Okay, we're closing the show with the Wyatt 6. All right, cool. And so match goes off. Jay's out there. I was like, oh, shit, they're going to attack fucking Jay. Oh, shit, no.
Uh-huh.
You know, that's the first thing I thought. But then I'm like, the music just plays, It's kind of playing, and it's very just like simple. It's just that theme music. It's just like, okay, it's just that's it. And the lights start to go out, flickering out. You see the fireflies starting to come out. I mean, everybody. I mean, and again, Jay had the fireflies kind of happening too, so they're kind of already going. But when the lights are flickering off, it's like, okay, everybody knows what's happening now. And so,
Right.
it doesn't matter if you were there, you're watching it, you're streaming it or whatever. Everybody's face, I think, and I feel was the same. Everybody was still in awe and surprise at what was about to happen, and just anticipation. Lights flicker, go off. Boom. Okay, now the door appears. Oh shit, we all know it's here. What's happening? The door's there. The music's still just playing. Smoke and shit's coming out everywhere. The door opens. Just that damn light shines through, and you're like, what is happening? Everybody's looking at everybody to see what's moving. Like, this is a part of storytelling in WWE that I absolutely love, because everybody's analyzing everything. Cameraman, you see the two guys over there, is that them? Like, everybody's anticipating what is about to happen, but nobody knows. Light shines through. All of a sudden, you see something moving. It's like, what is that? And so you see something moving, like crawling. And I'm like, oh shit, is that Sister Abigail? Yeah. And so it's fucking Nikki looking crazy, like looking deranged and crazy, and like stands up with this like tattered dress, like dirty, crazy face. Like her mask is crazy, and she looks bizarre and crazy. And she just points behind her.
I love. Okay, and this is the only thing I'm gonna interject on. I love how they put us in the situation of like in a horror movie of like, go see what happened. And it was like, we are now first person as the cameraman walking backstage, wow. Like as we are now seeing. I thought that was amazing. I thought that was
the camera angle, the cameraman, how they worked it. I mean, it was like you were walking into a horror movie. It really was. So yes. She points back with this fucking I'm just looking at her face like, go see kind of thing, and the camera starts going back there. The music's still playing that, and then it's like you start seeing like the smokes everywhere, like fucking the light fixtures and shit are like popping and shit. Is like, what happened back here? Then you start seeing people like bodies laying on the ground. Now at first glance, I couldn't really tell whose bodies it was. I was like, we had those extras, those guys who run out and try to break up fights. I thought initially that's who I was looking at. Like guys who just kind of got their asses kicked and laying on the ground. And then they're kind of going through, and I see these bodies. But then you clearly see Chad Gable. It's like, holy shit, what happened to Chad? So Chad's there looking like he got his brains blown out. I was like, okay, there's another guy. He's sitting there, and behind him, he's propped against the wall. And against the wall, look at this blood splatter. It's almost like, did he get shot too? Like, what the hell happened? And you're seeing like, lights flickering and fucking like hanging and all kind of weird shit. Now you start seeing the Y6, like, and how they had them separated in like one room here. Like Dexter Lumis, he does that kind of sitting down for his leg shit, so you can kind of clearly see it was him. You see it's him, but the mask, man, they looked amazing. Like it totally played into the fucking roles and shit, and like who they were. And then you see Eric Rowan, the fucking crazy fucking rabbit head with the fucking hammer, which I read that was the
back of the mask was the Bludgeon Brothers mask that Harper wore.
And the hammer, Bludgeon Brothers had the hammer too. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I love those little nuggets you had in there. And said then you see Gacy's looking crazy too. At first I was like, is that a pig fake mask? But he's looking, bro, it looks completely crazy.
So he is, so he's Huskus the pig.
Yeah, which I love.
He's Huskus, obviously Rowan, he would be Ramblin' Rabbit.
Yeah.
And then we have Sister Abigail as Nikki. Then we got Dexter Lumis, who's Mercy the Buzzard.
Yep.
And then you got Bo, who is obviously Uncle Howdy.
So when we get to passing everybody and you get to the shot where Uncle Howdy is standing there, he's really kind of like moving a little bit, and like, and the light, man, it was like, and the crowd goes crazy. And now, like, so he starts walking and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, the music's still playing like a fucking horror movie. Like,
it was Bray's theme the whole time.
Oh, bro,
it was great because it was like Bray's. This is Bray's. This is Bray's group. This is his masterpiece. He's here. Because I'm gonna be honest. Before they came out, before Nikki pointed, just the whole beginning, I got a little emotional.
Oh man,
Just,
bro,
you know what I mean?
Bro, I felt the same way. I was like, holy
Yeah.
shit, like it made me think how much I missed this part.
Right, but it felt like Bray. This was Bray.
Oh, for
I
sure.
felt like he was here.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to
100%.
laugh.
And that's what I loved it. And I thought the closing shot, I thought the best part, I haven't seen anybody talk about this yet, but my favorite part of this whole fucking thing was right before he says we're here, right? And blows it out. I don't know, there's a woman in the crowd, and you can hear her vividly yell, "Let's go, Taylor! Make him proud!" And he goes, "We're here." And I was like, okay, I don't know if she's an extra. I don't know if she's just a fan, but that was perfect. Like, because you know what I mean? Like, it was like, if anyone knows, they know, like, that, if I'm Taylor and I hear that right before, like, damn, you know what I mean?
That's
fucking
emotional.
chills. And
you know what's cool too? When Howdy was walking out, he was kind of like looking at each one of the 6 members and was like kind of waving them to him, like, kind of come on, like, come on. And that little stroll he's doing, he's just walking, kind of like, come on. They walk out there, the whole like, because you think the Wyatt family, I love the Wyatt family too. They did that whole kind of thing. When Braun was, the big fucking monster, he would do that kind of look at you, kind of like weird thing. And they were doing that kind of thing. And when he grabs that lantern and he holds it for a second, it reminded me of the thing. It's like, run. Like it. I was like, whoa. I mean, and when it happened, I was like, okay, I've seen this. This is the best day of my life. Like,
right.
Finally seeing what I've been waiting for. And everybody has been. And it was so amazing. So I started thinking like, okay, where are they going to go with them? What they're going to do? Like, is it, because I'm like, I thought they initially were going to attack Jay. But I saw a video of Jay.
Did you see Jay's interview?
Jay's like, oh, I ain't fucking with them. No, they good. Go ahead on. Like, I'm straight.
I don't want him.
I don't want it. I'm straight. And I was like, which is funny because I'm like, now I don't want to see them attack Jay. Like, but it was funny he said that. But I'm like, I hope, and I did read some stuff that's saying like they're just gonna fucking cause like havoc. They're gonna fuck with everybody.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love that approach because people typically don't do that. You know what I mean? Well, they'll jump people and just beat them up one week, but like just random people show up and like scare the shit out of people. Just like that, I fucking love. I love it.
They can attack faces, they can attack heels, they can attack everybody. I think it's great.
Yeah. I hope that the focus. I don't even want them to win gold.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Not even about
the biggest thing is they don't need to win titles for a long time because they have such a good story, and their whole thing is what Bray Wyatt. Why didn't he win a world title for so many years? Is because he put on so many banger feuds with John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and so on that were not for titles.
Yep.
Titles.
So it's going to be interesting to me too. Is if no titles, they just harass the shit out of people. What this does with stories like the Bloodline story. And other stories that are actually existing right now, like for when the Bloodline was running strong, their story trumped everything that was happening.
Yeah,
I think that this could potentially be another thing where it trumps everything else is happening. And like Bloodline now isn't the number one thing, this right here.
Solo Sikoa and his fucking backup weekend dancers can get the fuck out of here right now. I don't care right now about
that's
the weekend.
true. I saw a report that Solo Roman stopped following Solo.
Yes, yesterday.
Yeah,
I followed him on Twitter.
So shit like that, where I'm like, that story, they don't be careful with it. It loses its luster. But this Wyatt 6 shit, oh yeah. And I love the idea. I thought it was Wyatt 6, like the number 6. It's
but
Wyatt
the way it is, yeah, because they're sick people. And then the final thing is, I talked about this before we started, but the 6th member being Bray Wyatt and him of like the entity, I love. Now, if they do bring Alexa as the 6th, I think this isn't either way. It isn't a bad.
Yeah,
it's good. You can do it good either way.
Yeah,
Bray being the 6th or Alexa being the 6th. Ever since I heard the Bray being the 6th idea, I kind of like that because what you can do is you can make that lantern like the Undertaker's urn. You can make it like when people are trying to go after Uncle Howdy, destroy the lantern, and like, you know what I mean? And like they can make it now as to where the urn, like how the Undertaker, the lantern for this Wyatt 6 is now a physical entity in the world of WWE.
Yeah.
And I think that's great.
and now it like Undertaker, it can control the
It
other.
controls them 100%.
Yeah, I love that. I love that idea. I do like we talked about earlier. I like that if Alexa comes back, she reprising her role because now you have Nikki and Alexa, so you have two women
Oh, they'd both be so demented.
who wreak
It'd be
havoc
so good.
in the women's division. Now, if it's just Nikki, Nikki's the only one who's going to, you know what I mean? It's like it will be so cool though. Now you have these two women who can now they can show up and do all kind of shit now because Nikki they can do tag team, they can do singles, they can do a lot more shit versus just being Nikki by herself, And so I think that would be cool. But if they go the route of Bray being the sixth member and the Lantern being representation for Bray, I'm cool with it too because that gives you that earn thing, But I'm okay with either one. They're here, and that's all I care. They're here.
They're here, and next week you'll get to see them again, and that it's not a I can't wait for the QR code next week. It's you have no idea what's gonna happen next week, but you know that they're gonna be here. And
so is Uncle Howdy the mouthpiece for the group?
I would think when I look at this group right here, I would assume Rowan is the brawn.
Yeah.
He's the big, the big monster. Okay. Yep. I would say Howdy is the mouthpiece, the number one, okay, right? I would say Gacy is the mini Bray. He is what Bray was going to be. The second come, everyone basically said in NXT, Joe Gacy basically is what Bray Wyatt was in his early days.
Yeah.
Leader of a faction, that type of vibe.
Yeah.
So I think Joe Gacy can also be a mouthpiece. I think he is the only other person outside of Uncle Howdy that you could get Joe Gacy as a mouthpiece, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dexter isn't going to talk. He didn't talk before. Now he's got a mask on. That motherfucker ain't got to talk.
He's
And Nikki, I think, honestly, she'll just probably be the person who does facial expressions and hand gestures and probably won't talk either. So I think your only two people that you have options of talking are Uncle Howdy and Joe Gacy.
You realize that when Nikki started doing the weird shit, the build-up for this has been going for a really long time.
Yes, and when I talked about this, I do want to pat myself a little bit on the back because I remember, I think it was the second podcast we did. I brought this up to Devin. Devin was like, nah, I don't really think that's anything. Like, that might just, and I was like, nah, bro, why the fuck is she in a trance on Raw? You know what I mean? Like, that's a weird thing. She's actually the only person in this group that has been building this.
Yep.
Like, obviously, it's been building the last couple of months, but I mean, she's been building this a year ago.
Yep.
So
fucking standing in the corner and shit.
Shows you how long it's been in the works.
Yeah.
The final thing I'll say is this motherfucker Triple H. I said it once. I'll say it again. That motherfucker can land a goddamn plane. I don't care if the ride is long. I don't care if the ride is bumpy. Let him take you on this ride. He will land the plane every fucking time, bro.
Man,
every time.
He definitely doing it. I mean, this right here. But the cinematography behind the Wyatt Six, man, it is like a horror movie. It's like a movie. This reminds me, I had told you earlier, it reminds me of during the pandemic how they were able to do things differently because they didn't have a crowd there where they're like the Undertaker and AJ and the kind of graveyard fucking match. Those kind of things like they were able to do, like explosives and fire and all these kind of things. Like it's a movie set. I think Bray probably loved that. And this has like remnants of that feel where like they can they're doing like now I'll thought to myself, now next week when Chad isn't dead, what the hell are they gonna say happened to them that going through these guys are laid out? What's gonna be the response? You know what I mean? Chad doesn't remember. Does Chad not remember what happened to him? You know what I mean? It's like, but the guy obviously had his brains blown out and he's back. What are we gonna do? You know what I mean? So it's like it'll be interesting to hear how they explain how these guys got their asses kicked and like
that isn't something you can walk into Raw with a Band-Aid on your head.
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, Chad, what happened? I don't know. You know what I mean? But maybe they do go the route of saying like Chad doesn't remember what happened. But fucking look at the fucking internet, Chad, and we can see you had your brains blown out. So I'm curious how that goes. But I can't see this going bad.
Okay. How would you feel if they did this like a Gable, like this is what makes Gable trying to figure out how to word this. It makes him like rethink everything. Like Gable comes back Monday and is like a 180. Like that shit. Like he like whatever Uncle Howdy and the White Six did to them. He's like, Otis, I'm sorry. I will love you. I will never treat you like shit. Alpha Academy, you guys are the best. I'm so sorry. I will never treat you like shit again. Blah blah blah. Like it's almost like Uncle Howdy fucked this man up. Like he basically like now tries to fix his wrongs of what he did. Do you think they could do you think they could try to do that? Because here's what I think they would do. I think they would do that, right? Otis and them don't forgive. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then Chad's like goes to a point where he's like, all right, fine. They don't forgive me. Then brings in the Creeds, and you can go the heel route with Chad. Because here's my thing.
Good move. I like it.
I was gonna say, my thing is you can't just have him show up next week and be like, yeah, I got attacked. I got a little bump on my head. Like,
oops,
you got shot. Somebody pulled out a fucking, I don't need to go into detail, but yeah, like you said, his brains got blown out, and we all saw it.
Like, you can't come up with a Band-Aid. That would be a cool way. Again, I look at the transitions to how they go from one story to the next. That would be a good way to kind of transition it. They don't forgive him. Sam gets pissed. Creed brothers, here we go. That would be, a cool transition.
Uh-huh.
If they were to forgive him, now it's like Chad.
If they were to forgive him, then what you can I was gonna say, if they do forgive him, what you can do is just have Chad manipulate them, and we're all good now. And then a couple weeks later, the Creeds jump him, and boom.
Good move. Yeah. I
was
gonna say if because it would be weak to me if they made it how Jay, like Sammy and Jay had to kind of prove their worth kind of thing to make Chad do that. I think it'll be a better story is if he manipulates them and pretends that, oh yeah, we're good, and then flips out on them, and Tozawa and Otis get jumped by the Creed, and they get jumped by the Creed brothers. That would be cool. And he just ran straight heel. Yeah.
I'm with you on that 100%. All right.
So Dylan, what do you think? I question for you. What do you think? Do you think that right now there are too many heels?
Too many heels. I don't think that there's ever too many heels, but I think you're also asking the worst person for this because I'm always the guy where I'm like, I don't really care for this person. And then they'll turn heel and I'll be like, okay, I fuck with you now. Like I feel like turning heel is the easiest way to save somebody's career when they're in a stale spot.
True.
And I feel like it's never bad to have more heels than baby faces because in my opinion, you can always make a case of having less baby faces because when you look at all the titles for any wrestling company, AEW, WWE, whatever, you're 9 times out of 10, majority of your champions are going to be heels over baby faces.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only reason why we're in a weird situation where that's not true right now is because every single heel lost at WrestleMania. Yeah. That was the champion. You know what I mean? So we got the babyface Sammy win. We got the babyface Cody win. We got the babyface Truth and Miz win. You know what I mean? All the heels lost at Mania, and that's the only reason why we're in the spot we're right now. But I don't think you can ever have too many heels, but I do think you can have too many babyfaces. Now, do I think that WWE realized their situation of we have a lot of heels at the top, so let's utilize heel versus heel matches in pay-per-views like Scotland, where Drew will be the face, where they can do heel versus heel and stuff like that? Yes, but don't get smart because if you really think we're going to do Damian Priest versus Gunther at SummerSlam, you're really trying to convince us in the next 2 months that Priest is going to be that over as a babyface. I find that hard to believe.
I do too.
So I was going to say, I don't think it's a bad thing as long as they don't fuck themselves and try to make people babyface immediately because they're like, oh no, we think we have too many heels. Then they'll fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Then we'll get Damian and Gunther, and we'll be like, "Fuck, we hate them both."
I'm like you. I'm pro villain.
Yes.
Give me all heels all day. Sometimes I get tired of fucking good guys winning. At some point, I did read an article today about Cody. You talked about Cody earlier.
People want him to turn heel so bad, and
it's I feel like it's like Cody turning heel. It's like people wanting Bianca to turn heel.
Okay, I get that. That makes sense. I get that. But like my thing is I feel like Cody is the first babyface champion we've had in how many days did Roman hold that title?
Oh shit, fucking 10 years and shit.
Yeah, so that's how long it's been since we had a babyface world champion as the WWE, and now we're immediately gonna make him. Sorry, now we're immediately gonna make this man a heel. I just feel like that would be kind of crazy. And when The Rock comes back, or Roman comes back, or this solo thing that he's about to do, Cody's gonna be the face for this whole thing. He's not gonna be the heel against them. The only thing is they're gonna have Roman stay away from Cody because when Roman returns, he's gonna be a babyface, right?
Yep.
So Roman will probably go after Solo. Rock will come back a heel. He comes after Cody. I think that you'll be good with that. But
if Cody were to become a heel, it wouldn't be now. It'd be some time away.
That was gonna be my final point. If he turns heel, it's got to be after the Bloodline. It's got to be everything after the Bloodline because he's got to be the face of the Bloodline.
Yeah.
Solo and all of them are not going after Cody the heel. They're going after Cody the babyface.
No.
Yeah. All right. I think we have one more thing. Yes, we do. I wanted to start this today. Actually, I wanted to start this last pod, but it was just me. And then I wanted to start this today, but Devin's not here. But we're doing it with me and you because I need to start this or I'm never going to start it. So we're calling this the Devin Dilly Top 5. Now, this is how I want to do it. I want to do it every week. We do the top 5 wrestlers, basically not of the week in terms of how good they are, like Cody Rhodes is going to be number 1 because he's the world champion. No, just right now in terms of who's the most talked about, who's the most over in WWE, who is the most, you know what I mean, just top 5. Now, this isn't a, like, I'm kind of putting you on the spot immediately. So I'll pretty much just run you what my 5 was, and then you can just tell me, are you with it? Are you not? Do you have people you'd want to put in? Do you disagree? Anything like that. All right.
Okay.
Number 1, I think we'll pretty much agree. Uncle Howdy and the White Six.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that has to be number 1. That is the most talked about thing right now. That is probably the most, like, the biggest story. So I think we're agreed. Number 1, Uncle Howdy and the White Six.
Yep.
All right. Number 2, I have Damian Priest. Now, do you think it should be Damian Priest at number 2 or Drew McIntyre? I was 50-50. Because I was gonna say Damian because he won the match, but then Drew quit. So you know what I mean? It's almost like
I'll go Damian right now.
Damian 2, and then you do Drew 3.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. I think we do Damian 2, we do Drew 3, and then number 4. This one might be a little controversial. I have Chelsea Green because she managed to take a 5-minute appearance on a pay-per-view and make a whole 14-minute match all about her. All about her. Didn't even wrestle. And I think she was one of the best stars of the night.
She was a star of that match.
I'd put her on this top 5 because I was like, okay, if you didn't even wrestle, and the SmackDown before, she lost in like 5 minutes to Bayley, but I didn't give a shit. I didn't care.
Yep.
So, would you move her to 5? Do you think 4 is high?
No, I think 4 is good. 4
is good?
Yeah, I'd have no problem with that. She was a star of that match.
Yeah, that's honestly how I feel.
Bro, the other thing we didn't say about that match was Bayley back from her injury to me isn't the same Bayley either. Like so it's not as bad as Braun,
right?
Strowman, but it's it ain't as bad. But I mean, maybe that's how it was easier for Chelsea to become a star of that match because she was.
Yes. Number 5, honestly, I want to leave this one up to you because I was very undecided. I feel like there's a lot of people that you could give it to, but there isn't a clear-cut, definitive person that everyone is also talking about. So, what did you think? I mean, you could go Cody, you could go AJ, you could go Sammy, you could go Chad, you could go Otis. I mean, I don't know.
Liv.
Okay. Liv. Would you put Liv and Dom?
Okay.
Because I feel like you put them together because everything they're doing is together right now.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question to you. How much patience do you think, not Dominic, but Dominic's wife has for every week to just continue to watch this woman
fucking straddle your man?
pretty much seduce her man on live TV every week for what's been about a month.
Hey, deal. So look, I thought like, okay, they had to have set her down like, hey, here's how the story's gonna go. We want to see how you feel about it. I feel like they had to get her buy-in because Dom's newly married.
Right, yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? How that goes over. I think because Dom grew up in a business, I think she's more understanding of it, and they seem like high school sweethearts. So
I really hope Liv and her are like good friends. I hope that like behind the scenes they're close.
Yeah,
because if they don't talk.
But I do know one thing though.
Oh boy, Dom.
That fucking story. I
That boy Dom is wheeling and dealing right now.
Hey, that boy Dom. But hey, so we didn't talk about that though.
No, we haven't, and I feel like that's a great thing to end on. Honestly, I still have it in my notes here. Wait. It's still good because she's still doing it.
Dude, so the showing that Finn taking the key to the hotel room, bro, they cooking with it. I don't know what they're doing, but I felt like this is a way now that because the judgment is getting kind of stale.
Yep.
And Rhea's gone too. So this is a good way to kind of thrust him into the spotlight now. Even if this is the making for when Rhea comes back, that Finn leaves or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But him taking the key is like, I love that. I was like, okay, you playing the story up. The Liv and Dom thing, I don't know how Dom.
Now, can I propose to you what I proposed to Devin, and Devin was with it?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Liv Morgan turning the Judgment Day evil? Like,
love it.
Like not they're already evil, right? But like turning them with them. Like she takes Dom, she takes Finn, she takes JD, she takes everybody but Damien. Okay? To where it sets it up to where there's some shit where like at SummerSlam they all officially join, like we're with Liv. And we are, and like Priest is like, what the fuck type shit, right?
And they jump Priest like they did Edge?
Yep. Rhea returns. Then you can have Rhea and Damien be babyface because when she comes back, I don't care if Liv's a face or a heel. Rhea's going to be a giant babyface just like Roman. So you can have Damien and Rhea now be that two as the pairing of like we were the two you were supposed to hold it down and then look what happened, right? Type thing against Dominic and Liv Morgan, and then you could do that as like a mixed tag or something like that. But I feel like build it as Liv Morgan as now she took everything that Rhea loved and like the whole fucking group, but you gotta keep Damien because we're turning Damien face, right? So then that's how you have Damien be babyface. I feel like, how do you feel about that?
I love the idea of it. My only concern that I really don't want to see is Damien whip the shit out of Dom. That would suck. But I think it's a good plan though, because she her thing is taking everything from Rhea.
Rhea and Damien, pissed off Rhea and Damien aren't losing to anybody.
Man, all I know is when Rhea comes back, but I
love that Devin isn't here to defend his girl.
But I love the idea of her taking
Liv Morgan. Yeah, I said it, and you can't fucking defend yourself because me and Devin are here. What does it say at the bottom ticker? Mid Morgan. Yeah.
Mid Morgan.
What are you gonna do? You can't do nothing because you fucked your time management up. I'm just playing, Dev. I love you, but anyways, back.
But I think that's a good idea though. Like if Liv takes Judgment Day, and like now like she leads Judgment Day, and like they already heels, but they stay heels, and they turn on Damien and Rhea. But it would be nice. I mean, I don't see another member joining, but I could see Liv taking control of Judgment. That would be cool.
Yeah.
For that.
Rhea's gonna come back. I had to get that in there. I was like, I got to get it in before we end because I need a time clip.
Bro, did you see last week somebody when he was coming down the aisle, somebody hit the yeah. He was oh, bro, that shit was hilarious, man.
The infamous Tangaloa
Duh.
and the right hand man Tama Tonga. Damn it! Why do they have to have nicknames? Why can't we just call them Tama and Tonga?
They're gonna have nicknames.
So long, bro. Paul Heyman's like, "Hello, my tribal chief, Solo Sikoa, the infamous Tangaloa, the right-hand man, Tama Tonga." I'm like, God damn.
Like, shut up.
Motherfuckers got to say their whole government names.
Jeez. Bro, can I say this too? I hate
Say whatever.
how they got Solo fucking dressing right now. Fucking
Like the
looks-
weekend?
Dog.
He's dressing like the fucking weekend. And
He's
they're
dressing just
like
over the weekend. It fucking drives me crazy. Like, bro, take him out of that fucking sports coat and fucking dress shoes and shit.
And his black gloves. And his
Yeah, that shit's
black
back.
gloves.
Man, come on, like figure something out for him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, jeez, man.
Oh, God. Okay, so how do you feel about the new Bloodline? Do you like them right now?
Nope, they're fucking corny as shit. It's like, man, it's like, honestly, it's just corny, bro. Honestly,
No, they're corny as shit.
bro, they are, bro.
But
It's like,
no, that's like the perfect. Yes, I think that's the perfect way to put it right now. They're corny
like
as
take
shit.
them off, man. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know you're building for the Civil War. They need Roman to come back.
I think they're building up for the 6-man at Money in the Bank with Cody, Kevin, and Randy against those three.
Oh, I see that.
Can I be honest with you? Between me
Yeah.
and you,
Yeah.
I
In the
don't
world.
care. I don't give a shit. Yes, they can keep that shit. I'm gonna be stoned. That
Bro,
might be
they
my
just-
take. I
they-
don't give a fuck.
You know, they're just delaying time. You're just delaying time
Yes.
for what we all know is coming. The fucking Civil War shit, like you.
I would rather see, genuinely, pull the fucking trigger. Pull the trigger now. Do Solo and Cody Money in the Bank world title.
Do it.
Swear to God. Do it. Pull the trigger. And then if you want to do a situation of there's interference and it's chaos, I'd much rather have that than a 6-man tag where, guess what? The winner doesn't mean shit. So
That'd be
think,
nice. The
yeah.
interference now becomes Roman or
Or
Jimmy.
Okay, I know, I forgot. If they do the 6-man tag, they better, and I mean they better, debut Jacob Fatu. There's no reason to not debut him there in that match, and that be why the Bloodline wins, because they pinned Kevin Owens for the 19th time.
Yep. Oh god.
How many times, great, real question, I fucking mean this, bro. How many times in total do you think Kevin Owens has been pinned by somebody in the Bloodline? He's been pinned up for 4 years.
Hey, man, Kevin Owens is a great sport. Bro.
It's great, yeah, but like, genuinely.
Bro, genuinely. If he gets, bro, I'm so tired of him getting fucking fucked up by the fucking Bloodline. Like, come on.
It's like he's like, I just think it's so funny how last year he was like, his whole thing with Sammy was, I just want to be done with them. I just want to be finished. I'm sick of them. I can't stand them. And then he's finally away from them for a little while, and he's like, I'm gonna go fuck with the Bloodline.
Miss those guys. I'm gonna fuck with him. Bro.
Because he goes by him and he like starts talking shit to them before he walks into the locker room. Then he gets jumped that night, and it's like,
yeah, come on.
You didn't have to do anything. You were fine, and then you wanted to,
It's like, brother, we already know. Like, you just leave him alone. Like, go fight with somebody else. Like, I thought they were gonna have Randy and KO kind of go after it. You know what I mean? But like, no, they're buddies.
Final thing, and I just want your thoughts on this. I've already given mine. I just want yours. Logan Paul LA Knight. I don't know if it's gonna happen at Money in the Bank. I think it should, but or they'll wait for SummerSlam. It's happening. They're building it.
Yeah.
Are you excited for it? And
no.
Really?
Not excited.
I gotta solo you.
Yeah, not excited for it right now, just because I feel like LA's like kind of push. The shit it changes so fast, so it dies down. The momentum, and it's Logan puts on a good matches, but LA Knight I don't think it's gonna be a great match. Like I just saw a video of fucking LA at Logan's house and shit, doing that kind of shit. And it's like, yeah, they both talk a lot, kind of thing. And like, but I don't see it, and I could be completely wrong, but I don't believe this build up. They're trying to figure out some place to put LA Knight. Is what they're trying to do. So Logan gets a little bit of a pop. So you're trying to figure out maybe have him go against Logan. But I'm like, is this really, did we miss an opportunity to capitalize on the momentum that LA had? And maybe we did. So we're trying to, to me, it's like trying to rush and figure out where to put him at to have him clash with somebody. And this, I'm like,
Here's my fear. I think this has the potential. I like this. I like the match. I like the feud. I'm on the other side. Okay. But I think this has the potential to be one of the few where Triple H could fuck this up pretty badly. Okay? You're telling me. I know how the world of wrestling works. I know how putting people over goes. But a 20-some-year-old youngin' in Logan Paul is supposed to put over a 40-year-old LA Knight for the U.S. title in SummerSlam in his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio? I think Triple H is going to fuck up and have Logan retain.
oh, that'd be fucked up.
Yes! And I think everyone's going to be like, what? But my thing is I just don't see. I could literally, I don't think Logan is going to be stubborn. I don't think Logan's going to be like, I'm not putting him over. But I just think if you look at it from the wider lens of all of the other things, there is a scenario where Logan retains. And if Logan retains, what you just said becomes valid. Yeah. If LA Knight walks out of this feud, okay, and he's not elevated, he's not the U.S. champion, we fucked up.
Yep.
And we missed the mark.
Yep.
That I agree. But I think that the Triple H just needs to realize that that's why I want this match to happen at Money in the Bank. Because if you just pull the trigger in Toronto, you can set up the rematch in Cleveland and then just have a whole bunch of shenanigans take place with Jake Paul coming out and this guy coming, you know what I mean? And then LA Knight will probably retain, but there will be shenanigans, Yeah. So that's why I feel like they should just do it at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I agree with you. They should. I think that for some reason I remember Logan when he got to Cleveland before talking shit about Cleveland, people from Cleveland, said something else why he moved or something, but it wasn't the fanfare that you would think a person would get going to their home state or hometown. But I could see that if Logan walks out with that belt, I don't know what's gonna happen with LA Knight.
Yeah, they're fun.
Like he becomes Shinsuke.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but at this point, LA Knight, I know that this is going to drive a lot of people crazy, so please stay with me. But we are now at a point where LA Knight cannot win Money in the Bank because the second he qualifies that match, we know how these things go.
Yep.
Logan Paul will cost him that match.
Yep. Like
he did Seth Rollins in the Elimination Chamber, like he did Randy Orton in the Elimination Chamber. That's what he does. He will cost you your match. So we're at a point where LA Knight, if he wins his qualifier, I am like, damn, I don't think LA Knight's going to win anything because I know Logan Paul is going to f him over. Yeah. So they kind of fucked themselves there.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it, but I don't have a lot of faith.
I think the favorite for Money in the Bank, this will be the final thing that we kind of say, is obviously Jey Uso. Jey Uso. Jay's the favorite. And
bro, how to Jay getting his ass whooped, bro. Jay has to win some shit.
I'm all in favor of Jey Uso winning Money in the Bank as long as it's the same day cash in and it's on Drew McIntyre. God damn it, would that be hilarious?
Oh man.
Oh my God. Could you imagine?
He would be so fucking pissed.
Drew comes back. Drew finally wins the title again. And then and Jay, bro, he'd be so mad.
Oh, you know what would be cool? If Jimmy comes back that same and helps Jay beat Drew, interfere somehow, and now Jay pins Drew for the title, and now the Usos technically have screwed him again.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It'd be great. Yeah. All right. That is all that we have here for the pod. I told you it was going to be a lengthy pod. I appreciate all the people that are in here who stay with us the whole hour and a half, man. Y'all are some real ones. But Ennis, I appreciate you coming on. This definitely will not be the last time that you're on the pod. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me. Anytime Dev puts himself in a situation like today and I have to solo dolo it, I feel like we'll just run it, me and you. Let's do it. Beautiful. The dynamic was there. Like, we've been doing this for years, so it's
Cool,
fucking
man.
great.
Hey man, I had a
All
great time. Thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
Of course, I do want to plug really quickly. I want to plug shout out to Dev. He just dropped a new song 24 hours ago. It's not a new song. It was a song that was already dropped, but then got taken off because he likes to tease everybody. He thinks it's funny, and then he brought it back. So make sure you go over Lezu, Party Central on all platforms. Apple Music, Spotify, plug him. I got him. And then also download the Sharps Betting app over on the App Store. Use promo code TYCO011 when you sign up, and that will help us, and it will help you. So I appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching the podcast. He's Ennis. I'm McDilly. Be good people. Do nice